Peaceful greetings, peaceful greetings. Thank you for stopping by Channel 7, the Bastet Sheeta City Watchers news channel, the black news channel, where the revolution will be televised. Thank you for following us, and thank you for joining the movement and our upcoming conversation, a much needed conversation about false charges of black men throughout the United States. But most importantly, we're going to be raising awareness about false charges of homicide that have been brought against David R. Johnson, inmate number 1233494. Currently being held in Telfair State Prison in the state of Georgia. This conversation is part of my Truthitarian Ministries, where I focus on the sins, America's sins, that they have committed against the black race. So every Friday, Bastet Sheeta City Watchers will be live at 7 p.m. beginning December 3rd. That will be Central Standard Time, for a conversation about racism, black mass incarceration, slavery, involuntary servitude, false charges, and wrongful convictions in the state of Georgia. We will be tackling the historical data of the city of Savannah and their role in the slave trade, as well as Chatham County, how Chatham County was established, who Chatham County was established after, who Telfair State Prison was established after. And so we have to talk about this mass incarceration of false charges and wrongful convictions, slavery and involuntary servitude, racism, and the black mass incarceration, because this is a public health crisis, not only in Georgia, but throughout the entire country of the United States, and it may as well be on a global level. Prisoners, black people, have been treated as prisoners of war for well over 500 years, and it's time now that that we start having this conversation. It's time that we start holding these public officials accountable, because they take an oath of loyalty, and under that oath of loyalty, they are ministerially required, which means that that's an act that must be done at law. So there isn't a discretionary portion where any of these public officials have the chance to use their own discretion and judgment to see if something should be done. They have a ministerial duty at law and under their oath to support the Constitution and to protect the political and legal rights of black people before they become prisoners, So these rights of liberty and the freedom of liberty and the freedom to move around have been deprived for so many years. And so this is a much needed conversation that we have got to hold America accountable, and America have got to repent for their sins. We must change legislation because this is where it has been found that they are able to incarcerate black men by way of involuntary servitude, because the black men have not been duly convicted. So when you look at the 13th Amendment, the 13th Amendment says that slavery and involuntary servitude have been abolished, except by way of punishment for a crime, and one has to be duly convicted. So if an individual has gone through a process where, one, they have false charges brought up against them, even though that they are innocent, and no one allows them to prove their innocence, then that is an unduly injustice, so that wouldn't be considered as a duly conviction. In the case of David R. Johnson's indictment was not returned in open court, and nor was it conducted in front of public. So it's actually it was conducted by way of secrecy and a Star Chamber proceeding, and that Star Chamber proceeding and the secrecy of the grand jury is prohibited. It is definitely prohibited, and it was prohibited for a reason, because they knew that the KKK was going to be setting themselves up in different areas and different branches of law. So this is a conversation that we must have. This is a conversation that I invite all lawyers. Legal disclaimer, I am not an attorney, nor do I purport to be an attorney. I am an investigator, as well as a researcher, as well as a scrivener. So I have the natural and fundamental right to do what I do. I have the natural and fundamental right to read. I have the natural and fundamental right to dissipate the information or disseminate the information that I have read to the public, and that's what it is that I am doing. So I am not purporting to be a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. However, you will hear me bringing up statutes. There's no such thing to me as the practice of law. I don't understand how you practice law when all you really do is read it. So that's what I'm basically going to be doing. I'm having this conversation, reading the different laws, the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, as well as federal civil rights protections that black people have, and that the state of Georgia and all other states throughout the United States have not been enforcing for the protection of our legal and political rights. So again, this is a much needed conversation. I'm ready to talk. I'm ready to join forces with anyone who's ready to fight for justice, anyone who's ready to bring the truth. And so, again, I invite any lawyers, if there are any lawyers out here, any community activists that also help to teach people their basic constitutional rights. I ask that you reach out to me. And my name is, my apologies to Rachel E. Campbell. Rachel E. Campbell. You can definitely follow me every Friday. At Facebook, you can find me at Shafira Sankofa, and that would be at Bastet City Watchers on Twitter. You can find me at Bastet Watchers. On YouTube, I'm found at Bastet Sheeta City Watchers Black News. And then you can also follow my website. That's www.sertisebs.com. That's www.sertisebs.com. I ask and pray that the Most High and the Universal Creator bring all like minds to this conversation, and then that your heart is filled with joy to be a part of a movement that is going to change the history of the future generations, which is going to give our future generations a chance in which we did not have, So that being said, thank you once again for visiting Bastet Sheeta City Watchers, Channel 7, Black News Channel, where the revolution will be televised. Peace, love, and power.